So if you're looking to see how you can budget for the new year, so that way you can have some additional capital to reinvest into some properties, then guess what? You found the right video. Hey, Daniel, cue in that intro, please. Hey, how's it going, friend? Juan, Pablo here. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for watching this video and taking a look at our YouTube channel. On this channel, we typically like to focus on the three pillars to financial freedom, which are personal finance, dealing with budgeting, saving, personal credit, all that good stuff. We also like to discuss funding, having a repeatable source of investment capital. And third, and certainly not least, real estate investing with an emphasis on multi-units and multifamily. So if you're new, go ahead and hit that like button, share, subscribe, so that way Google, YouTube, the algorithm can do its thing to provide you with additional videos to help you along your journey towards becoming financially free. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic. All right, my friends, so we're going to discuss budgeting, right? Because you might be in a mindset of, you know what, this year is a new me. And I'm somewhat tired of just occupying the role of being an employee, being told what to do, when to do, how to do it, and who to do it with. And I'm getting tired of someone else, another adult, dictate my time. And I'm fed up to hear. So being that it's a new year, I want to do things a tad bit differently. In fact, I want to be able to adopt a new role, the role of an investor. But if you're in that mindset, that's great. But the thing is, you have to manage your personal finances prudently. You have to, first and foremost. Why? It's like this. If you cannot manage your own personal finances effectively, then how can you manage the finances of a business or real estate investing? Right? I'm sure you can assume that managing a portfolio or a business, the financials aspect, budgeting is a lot more challenging than managing your own personal finances. So we got to start with the small, your personal finances. So that way we can work our way up to managing, budgeting the finances of a business or real estate investing. Okay. So I want to share with you a resource that I use with my community in which we budget or finance our personal finances accordingly. So that way we can have some excess capital to reinvest that into rental property. So that way you'll be at that point where your passive income from your rental portfolio rivals your paycheck. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so I'm gonna do the screen share. Hence the reason why you see me in this position. All right, now what I'm gonna do is go to one of our resources that we use in our community. Is the monthly budget tracker. So I'm gonna pull that up here. I have it up already. Now, what I wanna share with you is a few numbers, okay? So what this does is, it kind of shows you your starting balance. Let's say you use a personal checking account and your ending balance. So obviously you want your ending balance to be larger than your starting balance, okay? And we want to see these key metrics here. The total increase in savings as a percentage, right? Because we want to make sure that you're increasing your rate of savings. So that way you can use that towards a property. And don't get me wrong, all day long, the company is 100% finance, of course. So we do talk a lot about financing, creative financing deals and so forth to use little to none of your own savings. However, if you really want to accelerate your trajectory to get into financial freedom as quickly as possible, then of course, you want to be able to burn the candlestick at both ends, meaning at one end, you want to be focused on how you can reduce your living expenses. So that way you can have some freed up capital to invest. Hence the purpose of this video, but also making sure that you acquire additional income producing assets. So if you're doing both of those things, reducing your personal living expenses and increasing your passive income, then you get to financial freedom much faster. Okay, so that's why we like to talk about savings too. So of course you can use credit financing, but if you add savings to it, it will accelerate that growth. All right, and we also want to take a look at how much you save as a dollar amount, because the more you're able to save, the more you're able to reinvest. All right, so I'm not going to belabor that point. All right, so what we have here is in this dashboard that you see here, you have plan and actual. Plan is what you plan to expend, which is obvious, right? And actual is what you actually spend. That's pretty obvious too. He's like, thanks, Juan Pablo, for breaking that down. That was so simple. But we have it for expenses and for income. Now, it sounds simple, right? And I laugh and joke about it. However, most people don't do this. And in fact, it's not as easy as it seems, because most people, they might have in the back of their head, oh, I think I pay X amount of dollars in my mortgage, or Y amount in rent, Z amount in my car note, but they don't really know how much they actually plan to spend each and every month. And then and they never compare their plans to the actual dollar amount that they actually spent. And that's the reason why their checking account may seem short as a result. Okay. All right. So let me show you this first. So what we do here is we want to jot down our projected or planned expenses and income. Okay. So you see here, I put in some examples just so you can see how it works. So for instance, I might say I plan to spend $950 in home. Okay. Home can be mortgage. It can be your, rent. I forgot the word, or any other housing expense that goes with home. Some people put insurance, you have renter's insurance, hazard insurance, things like that. In medical, you can put your medical monthly expense, gifts. Let's say it's December, Christmas, you might want to allocate a budget for that. Food, you might say, you spend about $400 in groceries, transportation. That can be, if you have public transportation, and these are all monthly totals, by the way. But the transportation can also be your car note, gas, insurance. You pretty much catch my drift. So what you'll do is you want to plan ahead for the month. Okay. And as you see, as months go on, that your planned amount will be almost equal to the actual amount. It'll be almost similar the more you do this. So it just takes a level of repetition. And you want to do the same thing for income. You want to plan out how much you plan to save a month. Let's say you plan to save $500 a month. Your paycheck, let's say you receive, $5,000 per month. Okay. Let's say you receive a bonus or tips or whatever your profession is. You might receive 400. Interest, let's say you have a checking account. Other can be rental income. So we have some custom categories here that you can edit. All right. So you just want to do the projection first. And you only want to fill out the areas highlighted here. But if you don't have access to the spreadsheet, you can always recreate your own, or you can go online, see if there's any templates out there, or you can just be very simple and plain and just get a pen and pad out and just jot down expenses and on top of the header, plan, actual, and just itemize it out. Just get a sheet of paper, or you can get a Google Sheet. Very simple. It doesn't have to look as pretty as this. Very simple, just showing you that you can duplicate this if you want, or you can get access to this when you join our community, either one. You want to do the same thing for income. And then once you're done with that planning, you then want to go to transactions. Now, this is the part where you have to be a tad bit meticulous. All right. And you also want to be detail oriented. So what you want to do is you want to check your bank accounts. Okay. And I'm speaking on behalf of a personal account. So you may want to have a personal checking account with a bank. And what you want to do, and I kid you not, every day, you want to itemize every single expense that you see get taken out of your checking account and every single income. Same time every day, meaning you set it in your calendar. I kid you not. And that's one of the things I do. I have a calendar invite first thing in the morning. I take a look at reports and I take a look at my bank account, because what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on all the transactions that happen in your personal checking account, in due time, my friend, that balance will expand. Let me go back to that image here. It will expand like this if you keep a close watch on it, because the old adage is true: out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not looking at your accounts on a daily basis, then guess what? The expenses that you incur will continue to rise and rise and rise. Now, some of you may have credit cards. And if you do have a credit card and you're charging expenses and you have income coming over here, expenses going over this other debit card, for your personal self, you want to consolidate it into like one personal checking. So that way it'll be easier for you. So every day, let's say, 7:30 in the morning, you go log into your online bank account and you see all the income and expenses that occurred the day before. You log it. Okay, so if today's Tuesday, you're looking at Monday and you're logging all the transactions, whether they're income or expenses. And you do that here. All right. So I will show you how to do it, but I'm not going to log into my bank account. so you can see my balance and transactions, but you get the drift. Once you sign into your bank account, then you just itemize it out. You enter the date. Let's say it's whatever the year is. Let's say it's 22. Let's say it's the first. Okay, you put the amount. Let's say it was $400, or let's say it was $2,000. It was rent. You categorize it as home. It's a drop down. Okay, same thing here. The date can be let's say you check it again the next day. Let's say you had no income for that day, so you check it the next day, 1/16. Again, you're logging activity from the day before, yesterday's transactions. And you might say $75. And you might say water bill. You can enter however you want, and you can categorize it. Another home expense. Okay. Then you can do, again, you can use pen and pad for this. Very simple. You can check again, 1/17. And let's say there was no expenses, right? So you would really just leave this blank. I'm just showing you, for example, and let's say 1/18, you incurred another expense. Let's say, let's just think of an expense here. Water bill would be utilities. See, you got to double check your work. So let's say the 18th was travel. Let's say you bought plane tickets for a trip you're taking 2 days or a week from now. And by the way, we're doing more of a cash-based accounting, not accrual, meaning we want to jot down the expense or the income the day it occurred. All right. So even though you're buying these tickets, but you might actually realize the tickets a month from now, the airline tickets in this scenario, you want to be able to jot it down now. And by the way, it's always CYA, consult your accountant. I'm not an accountant by trade, but I'm just sharing with you some tips and tricks that I do from a personal standpoint and a business standpoint. So let's say here you bought some airline tickets. Let's say they were $250. And description, you can say travel to NYC. Shout out to all my New Yorkers out there, all my Northeast folks, DC, DMV area, Chicago, well, it's Midwest, but up north, Philly, and you categorize as travel. Now you also want to check your income too. So you're coming through your bank account, right? You'll see some expenses and income. So let's say here you got paid on the 15th. So I'm gonna put 1/15. That was payday for you. And let's say the amount of your paycheck was $2,500 after taxes. Description, you can put paycheck, however you want to do it, and categorize it as paycheck. Okay. Then you might want to say you received additional income. Let's say it was a bonus. Let's say you won some contests at work, and that was on the 18th. And let's say it was a $1,000 bonus. And you can say here, bonus for sales contests, whatever it was for. You can enter bonus. Okay. So what you want to do is continually itemize it line by line by line. And you can always have another tab or spreadsheet for each month. So you can just always just duplicate for another month. And you can kind of save this for your master, but you can duplicate the transaction from month to month. So you can change this to January 2022, just like that. And you can duplicate it. Oh, sorry, that's not how you do it. You can duplicate it by clicking this and then click duplicate, rename, and you can just rename it to Feb, just like that. Okay, so that way you can see all your transactions. So again, as you enter the information here, okay, you'll see the summary gets updated here. So it feeds into the spreadsheet and you see the numbers change. See the ending balance change. Okay, and it also shows you the difference between what you actually saved. I mean, what you plan to save, what you actually saved, and it shows the difference. Okay, so you'll see that. So of course, for time focus purposes, I'm not completing all this, but I do have a video I do want to share with you is in regard to financial freedom and so forth, because I think will be helpful for you. So that way you can have the mindset of how to manage your finances. Just check the link below. All right. But you see here, as you continue to do this, your plan and actual will almost be equal to each other. And as I shared, it's important for you to manage your personal finances so that way you can adequately manage the finances of a business, as well as be able to have some savings left over at the end of the month to reinvest into your portfolio. And as you're looking at the numbers daily and you see the differences here, you'll realize, wow, I'm running myself as a profit. So being that I get the hang of it, of doing this myself, because I'm checking these numbers daily, Monday through Sunday, then by golly, I'll be able to do the same thing for a business. And so that way you can make sure you have money left over. So once you finish all your income and your expenses for the month and this gets updated, you should be able to see right here the total savings for the month. And as I shared, you don't have to use a Google Sheet or use this. You can use a pen and pad and you just itemize it out line by line to see the total net. And then when you take this net, you put it into a savings account so it gains interest. And then that interest, you can put it in here. And then you're growing your monthly nut, your monthly nut right here to reinvest into a property. All right, so I have another video that talks about investing in multi-units. So just check the link below to learn more. All right, guys, so that's all I have to share with you. So if you're interested in learning more of how you can invest in real estate in the most profitable markets using OPM, other people's money, then all you have to do is just check the link below in the description to learn more. All right, guys, that's it. As always, it's to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.